Lynette with Charmed Grammy Crochet. How you doing today? Today is Thursday, February 1st, I think. So yay, we've made it to February. January's over, getting closer to warmer weather for us here in northern Ohio. Any of the northern colder states. Well, probably all the states anyway. I want to welcome you into... I don't know. I want to just welcome you to my channel. Let's see. I have a couple of things to talk to you about. One being Boggy Creek. If you guys are not familiar, and I can't see how you could have ever been to my channel before and not be familiar with Boggy Creek and what's going on there, but we had a live opening yesterday on Billy's channel again, Billy the Crafty Floridian. Billy, Nancy, and I raised blankets for Boggy Creek Camp in Florida, in Eustis, Florida. Let's see, go this way. That centers me more. And it's a camp for handicapped children. They are chronically, or not chronic, yeah, chronically ill. They don't get over their illnesses. They're lifelong. And they get to go to camp there, and it's free, and it's wonderful. And they get to take home a handmade blanket. We collect the blankets from August through whenever we decide that we're going to take them. And this year we're taking them on February 13th, which happens to be Billy's birthday, and mine and my husband's anniversary. So that's kind of cool. But we will go there, and we will do some live, well, I don't know about live filming, but we will do some filming, and we'll do some prize giveaways. Nancy, I know, has some stuff to give away. Billy has yarn to give away. And I'm infamous these days for gift cards, because it's easy. And so that's what we're going to do. And, of course, we'll be delivering the blankets. And but the blankets, so just a real quick, so not, if you want to, because we will be doing, this is our second time, so we will be doing a third. We're going to continue to do this as long as you all continue to make blankets. We'll continue to have our drive. Last year, we, I think, did 360. We collected 360 blankets our first year. We started collecting them in October until the end of December. This year, we wanted to double that. So, like 720-ish. 700 was like the big number. And we beat that and exceeded it. But when we were talking goals, when we first started in August of this year for collecting, we said, you know, we've got a longer time to do it, so we wanted to collect more, and we thought double, so we were looking at the 700 figure. But the Boggy Babes out there from the Boggy Blanket Brigade, and the gentlemen too. We have several gentlemen that have also submitted blankets, so thank you so much. But we opened blankets last night on our live, and we beat and exceeded, well, all of you all decided that no, doubling wasn't enough. You wanted to go with 1,000. And we had open blankets last night, and our total was 1,012 at the end of last night. I cannot believe it. I am just so over the moon, overwhelmed. The outpouring of this community just means so much to me. Helping the children, it's, as I said, overwhelming. Sorry, didn't mean to get emotional, but I get emotional over stuff like that. So thank you all so very much. Billy, Nancy, and Nancy's mother, and the women's group, and the camp, and the kids are all so thankful for what you all have done. So, there's just no words. Anyways, good thing I didn't wear mascara, huh? So, we're on motion done. Let's get done with that. I did finish a blanket that I thought was going to be for Boggy Creek, but their blanket dimensions and my finished dimension of this blanket do not match. But y'all know Laura from Mad Mimi's Crochet and Farming had earlier in 2023 did a triple dog dare, double dog, triple dare to knit a blanket for mostly me because I whined that I wanted to learn to knit. She dared anyone that wanted to, including me, to knit a blanket, and we did a fall chunky cuddler blanket. And I do enjoy knitting very much. I enjoy the knit stitch. I just enjoy making the knit stitch. I enjoy the way it looks. I don't know how many stitches there are for knitting, but I know how to do a knit stitch and a purl stitch. I could do them now without referring to my book. But because I like the knit, I've always wanted to knit a blanket and have that row of V's, do that kind of stitch, which is knitting one side, purling the other side, like purling the way back. So I made the fall cuddler blanket, which also incorporated a decrease stitch, but mostly the knit and the purl. And so I had this yarn that I was gifted by Hobie, and I was to review the yarn in a collaboration, and I did, and I then decided to use that yarn because it also was a chunky yarn, and I don't have any of the labels with me, but it's the Hobie Amigo Friends yarn. So the colors, all the Friends collections of Hobie yarn, if you don't know this, if it says Friends on it and it has the linked hand logo, all the colors coordinate through that whole line of Friends yarn. So if you're using a silk yarn or a wool yarn or an acrylic yarn or a bulky to fingering weight, if it's got those Friends hands on it, the colors are exactly the same. So you can incorporate different fibers, different weights. If it's color number 15, that color number 15 is the same color in all lines of the Friends yarn, which is really kind of cool. I don't know, mixing them. Some people like to mix yarns and weights, some people don't, but all the colors would be the same. So if you wanted to make a kitchen towel and you wanted it in a softer kind of yarn than you wanted a kitchen scrubby, and you wanted them to be the same color, you could easily do that with the Friends yarn. So anyway, and in this video, I am not affiliated. I just wanted to spread that information in case you didn't know it. So I had 2 skeins of each of the colors except the cream. And so I did blue to steel to green to cream and then back down. And I finished the blanket. I did play yarn chicken at the end and I lost. So I have a green edge, which I didn't weave in very well. Or I still have edges sticking out of, I guess. I need to trim a little. The pattern that I used was pretty much the fall chunky cuddler bottom part. And then I just knitted the whole time and purled, knitted one side, purled the other side. But it took me a long time. I got to one point and I put the stitches on backwards and I had to unstitch them off. They call that tinking. So just like you knit one stitch at a time, you unknit it one stitch at a time and put from one needle back to the other. I figured that out because I made a mistake and I had to take it off a couple of rows, actually, and start over and fix my mistake where I went the wrong direction for half. I did the wrong stitch for half the row. And that put it in timeout for about 2 months because I didn't want to undo it. But I did undo it, and I redid it. And I learned how to tink really well. I still don't know how to fix a stitch if I drop it, so I try not to do that. I do have one drop stitch in here that just stayed dropped. So it's got a little hole. And anyway, this is what it's finished as, and it's bigger than what Boggy Creek. It doesn't meet the dimensions at all. And it's not very square because I did the top where I was running out of yarn. I did it apparently too tight and it brought it in. But it's perfect for the back of my chair. And it's nice and soft and cuddly and I like it. But it won't go to Boggy Creek because it doesn't meet the requirements of Boggy Creek. then I made a blanket, a knitted blanket that I went to a class and hand knitted, and I showed it to you. And the holes on it were big, and I was going to leave it, but I covered up with it last night, and I wasn't happy with it. Covered up with it, and I'm cold because the holes are too big. So I pulled it apart, and I remade it. And so now the holes, oops, I'm having an avalanche. So now the holes aren't too big. It doesn't have big holes that you can see through. It looks so much nicer. The class was $80 to learn how to make this, hand knit this blanket. It takes 164 yards of yarn, 7 weight bulky, and it cost me 80 bucks for that and the class. And I thought, as I'm wearing this last night, and I look at it on the back of my couch, and it doesn't look as good as what I wanted it to look like. And I thought, I spent $80 for that blanket, and I don't like it. So I'm going to take it out apart and remake it. It only took me about 2 hours to remake it. And now I like it. It looks the way I want it to look. It's got the V's in it and no major huge holes. If I cover up in it, I'm going to be warm, not drafty. And that's much better on, if I, I thought I spent the time, spent the money, and then not like the blanket when I could just take it apart and make it something that I like. So I was real happy to do that. And now I like it. And finally, I have one other thing to show you really quick. Don't mind me, but my yarn fell. When we were unboxing Boggy Blankets, Donna Cooper had a beautiful pattern. And she let me test. She wrote it down for me and let me test it. And I worked with it, and I couldn't make it work right for me. And then I did it again, and now it looks good. Look at how pretty that is. Do you remember the ripple hearts? I'm totally loving it. I got it to work. It will be a Valentine's, hopefully, Boggy Blanket. I think it's big enough. Yep, it will be big enough to be a Boggy Blanket. And so I'm very excited about that. And I think the kids will love it. So it will go into next year's Boggy Creek Drive that we will deliver in 2025. And the written pattern is Donna's to give out. But we did find that there is a tutorial. Donna used the pattern from Creative Grandma that Glenda put out, and she tweaked it. And that's how it made, because Creative Grandma's is just a ripple, granny ripple. And Donna made it so that it looks like it's got hearts in it with the spike stitches in there. And she did that on her own. But then I did find a tutorial, just popped up in my YouTube feed one day. And I will add that tutorial to the description box below. So you can click it and follow the tutorial if you so desire, if you wanted to make the blanket. I am using Craft Smart yarns, the white and the bright pink. The light pink is a Dreamweaver yarn 4-weight acrylic, and I am using a 4mm hook. That's the only hook I could make it work with. It's a little stiff because it's a 4mm hook, but it is the only hook I could make it work with. But I'm so excited that I got it to work. I don't know why when I was using different I tried different yarns, different hooks. It's me. I know it's me because other people are making it work, no problem. But anyway, I will link that in the description box below. And I think I showed you everything else that I've been working on, except I did do a test pattern of the leggy heart for Joe's web, but I can't show you that yet because she hasn't released the pattern yet. So when she does, I hope she does a tutorial. I don't know if she is or not, but when she does, I'll show you my leggy hearts. But that's all I have for you today. I just wanted to give you an update on my 2 finished blankets and the Donna Cooper heart blanket. so that's it. That's all I got. Just a short little few things. And the grand total on Boggy Creek so far, that we beat the 1,000 blanket goal. So very exciting. Thank you all so very much for watching, liking, sharing, all the things. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.